Some Jedi possessed abilities so rare they made other Force users look like beginners. Take Quinlan Vos. While most Jedi could sense the Force, Vos could literally see memories just by touching objects. Imagine picking up a coffee mug and instantly knowing everything that happened to its owner for the past week. That was Quinlan Vos's reality. This powerful skill, called psychometry, turned Vos into the Jedi Order's top spy and tracker. Not many Jedi could say they spent their days deep undercover in the galaxy's criminal underworld, but Vos did it regularly. If someone needed finding or a crime ring needed infiltrating, the Council called on Vos. The Clone Wars pushed this ability to its limits. The Jedi Council gave Vos what might have been the war's most dangerous mission: kill Count Dooku. They sent him undercover, where he teamed up with Asajj Ventress, a former Sith assassin who knew Dooku's weaknesses. Together, they formed an unlikely partnership that would test everything Vos believed about the light and dark sides of the Force. To get close to Dooku, Vos had to convince the Sith Lord he'd turn to the dark side. He played the part so well that he nearly became what he pretended to be. The dark side's pull was stronger than he'd anticipated. As he sank deeper into the undercover role, the line between pretense and reality began to blur. In Legends stories, Vos went even further. He actually infiltrated Dooku's inner circle and faced off against some of the war's most dangerous fallen Jedi. He crossed blades with Sora Bulk, a Jedi Master who'd abandoned the light and came out victorious. These weren't small skirmishes either. These were full-scale lightsaber duels that tested every bit of Vos's skill. But power wasn't just about combat for Vos. His greatest battle happened inside his own mind. After touching the dark side, he had to fight his way back to the light. It took tremendous willpower and help from unexpected places. Ventress, the former assassin who'd become his partner, sacrificed herself to help pull him back from the brink. This inner strength set Vos apart from many other powerful Jedi. Where others might have fallen permanently to darkness, Vos found his way back. He survived both the Clone Wars and Order 66, managing to escape when thousands of other Jedi perished. Look past his rough exterior and unconventional methods, and you'll find one of the Order's most talented members. Vos bent the rules, yes, but he got results. His psychometry made him invaluable for investigations. His lightsaber skills helped him survive encounters that would have ended other Jedi. And his willingness to walk dangerous paths for the greater good showed a kind of courage that went beyond physical bravery. Coming in at number 15 on our list, Quinlan Vos proves that power in the Force takes many forms. Sometimes it's not about throwing starships with your mind or seeing the future. Sometimes it's about having a unique gift, the skill to use it effectively, and the strength to come back from the edge when darkness threatens to consume you. In a galaxy where Force users numbered in the thousands, Vos stood out as truly exceptional. Heroes often get their names from great deeds. But what do you call someone who defeats the galaxy's most powerful Sith without anyone even knowing their real name? That's the mystery of the hero of Tython, a Jedi whose list of achievements reads like something from ancient legend. This Jedi Knight emerged during one of the darkest periods in galactic history. The Sith Empire had returned after being gone for centuries, and war was brewing. While other Jedi debated strategy in council chambers, the hero of Tython faced threats head-on that would have destroyed lesser Force users. His first major test came against Darth Ungral, a Sith Lord who'd gotten his hands on a superweapon capable of devastating entire planets. The hero didn't just stop Angral, he defeated him completely. Not long after, he faced the children of the Emperor, twisted agents who shared a direct mental link with Emperor Vitiate himself. Here's where things get really interesting. Emperor Vitiate was more than just powerful. This Sith could dominate minds across vast distances, turning strong-willed individuals into puppets. Yet when Vitiate tried to overwhelm the hero's mind, he found something unexpected. The hero resisted. Through sheer force of will, he broke free from mental domination that had consumed countless others. After becoming the Jedi Order's battlemaster, the hero's abilities grew even further. He mastered techniques like force stasis, which let him freeze entire groups of enemies in place. His lightsaber skills evolved too, adapting between defensive Soresu forms and the more aggressive Xian style, depending on what combat demanded. The challenges kept coming. Darth Baras, a member of the Dark Council, pretended to speak as the voice of the Emperor himself. The hero exposed this deception and defeated Baras in direct combat. But the ultimate test waited ahead, facing Vitiate himself. The confrontation with Vitiate happened in stages. First came battles against his spirit form, then against physical vessels he possessed. These weren't normal opponents. Vitiate's avatars and echo forms were manifestations of pure dark side energy, capable of destroying most Force users on contact. The hero not only survived these encounters, but emerged victorious. Throughout these impossible challenges, the hero developed an arsenal of Force abilities that set him apart. Force Sweep let him clear entire battlefields. Saber Throw became a precision weapon in his hands. His precognition in battle allowed him to predict enemy movements before they happened. Single-handedly, he took on entire battalions of enemies. But raw power alone didn't make him legendary. What truly set the hero apart was his unwavering commitment to the light. Many Jedi struggled with moral compromises during wartime. Some fell to darkness, others became cynical. The hero maintained perfect balance, following the Jedi code even when easier paths presented themselves. As his reputation grew, the hero became more than just a warrior. He led major campaigns across both core and outer rim territories. He inspired hope in a galaxy that desperately needed it. His actions shaped the course of the war itself. The final battle against Vitiate's last physical form marked a turning point in galactic history. By permanently defeating this ancient evil, the hero of Tython saved countless lives and earned his place among the greatest Jedi ever known. In an era defined by moral ambiguity and hidden agendas, he remained a beacon of pure light, answering the Sith's return with power that matched their darkness blow for blow. Now, here's a familiar name for number 13 on our list. Ahsoka Tano technically isn't a Jedi anymore, but that hasn't stopped her from becoming one of the most powerful Force users in the galaxy. Her story stands as proof that true strength comes from more than just titles or official rank. Anakin Skywalker took a gamble when he accepted Ahsoka as his apprentice. She was young, headstrong, and nicknamed Snips for her sharp attitude. But under his training, she developed into something extraordinary. Her lightsaber skills evolved to rival most Jedi Masters, combining acrobatic precision with tactical brilliance that left opponents struggling to keep up. The Siege of Mandalore proved exactly how far she'd come. During this pivotal battle, Ahsoka accomplished something countless skilled warriors had tried and failed to do. She defeated Darth Maul in single combat. This wasn't a lucky strike or a fluke victory. This was a legitimate duel where she outmatched one of the most dangerous Sith in existence. Years later, Ahsoka faced an even greater challenge when she confronted her former master, now transformed into Darth Vader. Most Force users who crossed sabers with Vader didn't live to tell the tale. But Ahsoka not only survived their encounter, she actually managed to damage his mask during their fierce duel. Consider what that means. By this point, Vader had become one of the most feared beings in the galaxy, yet Ahsoka matched him move for move. But Ahsoka's power extends far beyond combat prowess. She demonstrated an ability so rare that few in Jedi history have ever accomplished it. After defeating an Inquisitor, she took the fallen hunter's corrupted kyber crystals, red and bleeding with dark side energy. Through deep meditation and pure Force connection, she actually purified these crystals. The blood-red blade turned pure white, cleansing away the dark side's taint. This wasn't just unusual. It was nearly unheard of in Jedi lore. These white lightsabers became her signature, representing her unique path, neither Jedi nor Sith, yet walking firmly in the light. The crystals themselves stood as testament to her exceptional Force attunement and inner strength. When Order 66 decimated the Jedi ranks, Ahsoka's survival wasn't just luck. She'd left the Order before the betrayal occurred, disappointed by the Council's treatment during her wrongful trial. This decision saved her life, but it also positioned her perfectly for what came next. Operating under the codename Fulcrum, Ahsoka became a vital coordinator for the early rebellion against the Empire. She worked in the shadows, connecting isolated resistance cells and providing crucial intelligence. Her efforts helped lay the groundwork for what would eventually become the Rebel Alliance. Throughout her journey, Ahsoka displayed mastery over various Force abilities. Her connection ran deep enough to sense events across vast distances, communicate through the Force, and maintain perfect balance during combat. She developed her own distinct fighting style, incorporating dual lightsabers in a reverse grip technique that maximized her agility and defensive capabilities. What makes Ahsoka truly remarkable is her ability to maintain the Jedi ideals without the constraints of the Order's bureaucracy. She embodied everything the Jedi stood for, while avoiding the pitfalls that led to their downfall. Her compassion, wisdom, and unwavering commitment to justice marked her as one of the truest Jedi, even if she no longer claimed the title. From Anakin's apprentice to rebel spy master, to a warrior capable of challenging Sith Lords, Ahsoka Tano's journey represents the full potential of what a Force user can become when freed from rigid doctrine, yet guided by unwavering principles. Let's dive a little deeper for number 12 on our list. If you want to understand the word legacy, look no further than Satele Shan, the granddaughter of Revan, who we will talk about later, and Bastila Shan inherited more than just famous family genes. She inherited power that would reshape the Old Republic itself. Grandmaster Satele Shan lived during the Galactic War, when the Sith Empire returned with a vengeance. While many Jedi of her time showed promise, Satele displayed abilities that put her in a class of her own. The stories about her battlefield performance sound more like mythology than history, except we have witnesses who lived to tell about it. Take the Battle of Alderaan. Satele saw her allies pinned down by Sith forces. What happened next defied belief. She launched herself into the fray and released a telekinetic blast so powerful it literally flattened multiple Sith warriors at once. But she was just getting started. Without pausing, she vaulted across the battlefield, destroyed a massive Imperial war droid, and cut down 4 Sith warriors in rapid succession. Her most legendary encounter came against Darth Malgus, widely considered the deadliest Sith Lord of that era. During their duel, Satele displayed something incredible. When Malgus had her cornered, she literally pulled a tree down on top of him, using pure force power to weaponize the environment itself. As he recovered and attempted to run her through with his lightsaber, Satele did the unthinkable. She caught his blade with her bare hand. This wasn't just blocking it. She absorbed the energy through the Force using a technique called tutaminis. Very few Jedi in history have ever pulled off this move, and almost none did it against an opponent of Malgus's caliber. But Satele took it even further. She channeled that absorbed energy and unleashed a force blast that pinned Malgus against a cliff face. Her follow-up strike tore the cliff apart, burying him under tons of rubble. Beyond her combat skills, Satele proved herself as a master strategist and leader. She possessed battle meditation, a rare ability that could turn the tide of war by coordinating thousands of minds across entire battlefields. Her grandmother Bastila had this gift, and Satele used it to even greater effect during the Galactic War. As Grand Master, she guided the Jedi Order through one of its darkest periods. While enemies pressed from all sides, Satele maintained calm and focused leadership. She combined tactical brilliance with spiritual insight, making decisions that preserved the Order when extinction seemed inevitable. Satele's Force abilities extended beyond combat and leadership. She demonstrated advanced healing techniques, long-range telepathy, and precognition that went far beyond typical Jedi foresight. Her connection to the Force ran so deep that she could sense disturbances across entire star systems. Her fighting style merged traditional Jedi techniques with innovations that caught opponents completely off guard. She could switch seamlessly between defensive maneuvers and devastating offensive strikes. Satele mastered multiple lightsaber forms and adapted them in real time based on battlefield conditions. Throughout her career, Satele faced and defeated numerous Dark Council members, survived assassination attempts, and led successful campaigns against overwhelming odds. She represented the perfect balance of warrior prowess, spiritual depth, and leadership ability. In an era when many Jedi fell to corruption or despair, Satele Shan stood as a beacon of hope and strength, proving herself worthy of her legendary bloodline while forging her own path to greatness. At number 11, we have a controversial ranking. Qui-Gon Jinn discovered a force power that no Jedi had achieved in centuries, fundamentally changing what was possible for Force users forever. Qui-Gon's combat abilities were formidable in their own right. He mastered Form 4 Ataru, an aggressive lightsaber style requiring incredible physical power and stamina. His duel with Darth Maul demonstrated this perfectly. Even at his age, Qui-Gon unleashed devastating strikes and flips that forced a prime Sith assassin to fight defensively. The fact that he could match Maul blow for blow showed extraordinary combat prowess. His connection to the living Force gave him abilities beyond standard Jedi powers. Qui-Gon could sense the immediate intentions of others with uncanny accuracy. His precognition worked on a more instinctive level than typical Jedi foresight, allowing him to react to threats before they fully manifested. This made him nearly impossible to ambush or surprise in combat, but Qui-Gon's most groundbreaking achievement was discovering Force immortality. By studying ancient teachings from the Shaman of the Whills, he unlocked the secret to retaining individual consciousness after death. This wasn't just survival. It was maintaining his identity and abilities within the Force itself. Even partially trained in this technique, Qui-Gon accomplished what others thought impossible. After his physical death, he communicated with Yoda and Obi-Wan from beyond the grave. He guided them through the living Force, teaching them the path to becoming Force spirits themselves. The power transcended physical limitations entirely. His ability to identify the Chosen One showed another level of Force sensitivity. When Qui-Gon met Anakin Skywalker, he instantly recognized the boy's massive Force potential. Where others saw just high midi-chlorian counts, Qui-Gon perceived the fulfillment of ancient prophecy. This level of Force insight was extraordinary even among masters. Qui-Gon also demonstrated exceptional mind tricks and persuasion abilities. He could influence multiple beings simultaneously, a skill requiring tremendous mental focus and Force control. His telepathic range extended beyond typical Jedi limits, allowing him to send mental messages across greater distances. In terms of telekinesis, Qui-Gon showed precise control rather than raw power. He could manipulate complex machinery, disable weapons systems, and create subtle environmental effects that turned battles in his favor. His Force pushes, while not as flashy as some Jedi, were precisely calibrated for maximum effect. Perhaps most impressively, Qui-Gon developed techniques to counter dark side powers. During confrontations with Sith artifacts and dark side users, he could create protective Force barriers that neutralized corrupting influences. This resistance to dark side energy proved invaluable during his missions in Sith-influenced territories. His mastery of Force healing was also notable. Qui-Gon could accelerate natural healing processes and stabilize critical injuries in the field. While not as spectacular as some Force powers, this ability saved numerous lives throughout his career. Qui-Gon's Force senses extended beyond normal parameters. He could detect disturbances across entire star systems and trace ripples in the Force back to their source. This heightened awareness made him exceptionally effective at investigating dark side activities. By discovering Force immortality and teaching it to others, Qui-Gon ensured Jedi wisdom would survive through the darkest times. This single achievement arguably makes him one of the most powerful Force users in history, as he literally conquered death itself. His legacy of power extends beyond physical capabilities into the realm of spiritual mastery that few Jedi ever approached. The techniques he discovered would later help Luke Skywalker communicate with past Jedi Masters during crucial moments in galactic history. Sometimes the most dangerous power lies in knowing too much. The Force flows through all Jedi, but for Jacen Solo, it became something more. Something that would make him one of the most puzzling and powerful Jedi of his generation. Born to Han Solo and Leia Organa, Jacen carried the legacy of the Skywalker bloodline. But unlike his grandfather Anakin, Jacen's path to power focused on knowledge, insatiable knowledge of the Force. The Yuuzhan Vong War changed everything. These alien invaders from outside the galaxy brought terror and destruction on a scale the New Republic had never seen. And in the chaos of battle, Jacen Solo did something extraordinary. He became one with the Force. He completely dissolved into pure light side energy. In this state, Jason faced Onimi, the true mastermind behind the Yuuzhan Vong invasion. Onimi had transformed himself into something monstrous through biotechnology, giving himself powers that twisted nature itself. But against Jason's oneness, even this abomination stood no chance. The battle ended in a blinding flash of light. Jason had fulfilled an ancient prophecy and brought the war to its conclusion. But when he returned to his normal state, he knew something important. He might never touch that level of power again. Most Jedi would have been satisfied with such an achievement. Jason wanted more. The taste of true oneness with the Force left him hungry for additional knowledge. He set out across the galaxy, determined to learn every secret of the Force he could find. His travels took him to the Aing-Ti monks, mysterious beings who showed him how to flow walk through time itself. He studied with the witches of Datomir, learning their unique approach to Force power. From the Falanasi, he learned to create perfect illusions. The Barando sages taught him to foresee danger. Each new group, each new tradition added another tool to his already impressive arsenal. By his mid-20s, Jacen Solo had become something unique in Jedi history. His knowledge of Force abilities stretched far beyond what most masters could claim. He could walk through time, create illusions, sense danger before it appeared, and manipulate the Force in ways that defied conventional understanding. Jacen's approach to the Force was almost scientific. He treated each new ability like a puzzle to solve, each tradition like a laboratory experiment. He questioned everything, tested boundaries, and constantly pushed the limits of what the Force could do. This pursuit of knowledge made him incredibly powerful, but it also made him unpredictable. Other Jedi followed established paths. Jacen created his own. He would enter battles with techniques no one had seen before, using the Force in creative ways that left both allies and enemies stunned. His power wasn't limited to combat. Jacen could sense connections in the Force that others missed. He understood the flow of events in ways that made him seem almost prescient. His insights often proved crucial in guiding the new Jedi Order through difficult decisions. But there was something else growing alongside his power, a restlessness. The more Jacen learned, the more he questioned. The strict divisions between light and dark that the Jedi preached began to seem less clear to him. His vast knowledge showed him shades of gray where others saw only black and white. Some in the Jedi Order worried about Jacen's unconventional approach. They saw danger in his constant pushing of boundaries, but no one could deny his achievements. His victory over Onimi alone proved his worth as a Jedi Knight. Looking back, we see that Jacen Solo represented something new in Jedi history, a Force user who refused to be limited by tradition. Someone who understood that true power came from knowledge, creativity, and the willingness to explore the unknown. Had he remained on the path of the light, Jacen might have redefined what it meant to be a Jedi. His potential seemed limitless, his understanding of the Force deeper than perhaps any Jedi of his generation. Some even suggested he might one day surpass his grandfather Anakin's legendary power. But potential cuts both ways. The same curiosity that made Jacen so powerful also made him vulnerable. His quest for knowledge would eventually lead him down darker paths to becoming Darth Quaitus. But during his time as a Jedi Knight, Jacen Solo showed the galaxy what happens when someone truly gives themselves to learning the Force in all its forms. His legacy reminds us that power in the Force involves more than lifting rocks or winning duels. Sometimes the greatest power comes from understanding, from seeing connections, from being willing to ask questions that others fear to voice. Jacen Solo may have been the most learned Jedi of his time, and that made him dangerous in ways even his allies couldn't fully comprehend. And now we are inside the top 10, and things start to get tight in our rankings. At number 9, we have Meetra Surik, better known as the Jedi Exile. Her story proves that sometimes the greatest strength comes from surviving our worst moments. Most Jedi grow stronger through training and meditation. Meetra Surik became powerful by losing everything and fighting her way back. As a general under Revan during the Mandalorian Wars, she made a choice that would haunt the galaxy. At Malachor 5, she activated a superweapon that ended the war but created a wound in the Force itself. The pain was so intense that Meetra's mind did the only thing it could to survive. She unconsciously severed her own connection to the Force. One moment she was a powerful Jedi general. The next she was Force-deaf, cut off from the energy that had guided her entire life. Years passed. The galaxy changed. When the Dark Wars began and the Sith Triumvirate threatened to destroy everything, Meetra returned. She started reconnecting with the Force, and something extraordinary happened. Her growth exploded beyond anything normal training could produce. Meetra had developed a unique ability. She could form bonds with those around her and inadvertently drain knowledge and strength from her companions. Every ally made her stronger. Every connection added to her power. This wasn't dark side corruption. This was something entirely new, born from her traumatic disconnection and miraculous return. With this growing power, Meetra set out to face the Sith Triumvirate. 3 Dark Lords who each possessed abilities that should have made them unstoppable. But Meetra would defeat them all. First came Darth Nihilus, the Lord of Hunger. He could consume entire planets, draining all life through the Force. Aboard his flagship, Meetra faced this monster alongside her companions Visas, Mar, and Mandalore. When Nihilus unleashed his devastating Force drain, Meetra didn't just survive. She resisted. She struck him down, saving the very fabric of the Force from his endless hunger. Next was Darth Sion, the immortal assassin held together by pain and rage. Physical attacks meant nothing to him. He would simply rise again, fueled by hatred. But Meetra found another way. Through words and understanding, she convinced Sion to finally let go, to accept death. She defeated an immortal enemy without striking a single blow. Finally, Meetra confronted her former mentor Kreia, who had become Darth Traya. On Malachor, the planet where Meetra's exile began, teacher and student faced each other for the last time. Despite Kreia's mastery of the Force and her intricate plans, Meetra emerged victorious. She had overcome the architect of the entire conflict. These victories weren't just about power. They showed Meetra's incredible versatility. Against Nihilus, she used raw strength. Against Sion, she used wisdom. Against Traya, she combined everything she had learned. Each battle required a different approach, and Meetra mastered them all. But Meetra's greatest achievement went beyond defeating Sith Lords. The Jedi Order was nearly extinct when she began her journey. Through her actions, she laid the foundation for its restoration. She proved that Jedi could survive even the darkest times. that the Force would always find a way to balance itself. Mitra Surik's power came from her unique connection to the Force, her ability to form bonds and grow stronger through them, her resilience in facing impossible odds, but most importantly, her willingness to confront her own past and use that pain to protect others. She walked through the valley of death and emerged stronger than ever. She faced planetary destroyers, immortal warriors, and the darkness within herself, and she won every time. That's why Mitra Surik, the Jedi exile, stands among the greatest Force users who ever lived. Many Jedi are remembered for their lightsaber skills or Force abilities. Mitra Surik is remembered for something deeper. She showed that true strength comes from facing our failures, learning from our losses, and finding new paths when the old ones close. In the end, Mitra proved that exile doesn't have to mean defeat. Sometimes being cast out forces us to find strength we never knew we had. And sometimes the greatest Jedi are those who lose everything and still find their way back to the light. We've reached number 8 in our rankings, and it's a name you've been waiting for. Obi-Wan Kenobi proves that raw power isn't everything. Sometimes perfect technique and unwavering discipline make all the difference. Other Jedi might have been born with higher midi-chlorian counts, but Obi-Wan turned himself into something remarkable through sheer dedication. They called him the negotiator because he preferred peaceful solutions. But when fighting became necessary, few could match his skill. Obi-Wan mastered Form 3, known as Sorisu, the ultimate defensive lightsaber form. Master Mace Windu himself declared Obi-Wan the master of Sorisu, acknowledging his unmatched defensive abilities. This wasn't just about blocking attacks. Sorisu turned defense into an art form, allowing practitioners to wait for the perfect moment to strike. This patience paid off throughout Obi-Wan's career. As a young Padawan, he faced Darth Maul, the Sith assassin who had just killed his master, Qui-Gon Jinn. Most would have given in to anger or fear, but Obi-Wan stayed calm, found his center, and defeated Maul by bisecting him in a furious final exchange. Years later, during the Clone Wars, Obi-Wan's defensive mastery let him take on General Grievous, the cyborg warrior who collected lightsabers from the Jedi he killed. Grievous could wield 4 lightsabers simultaneously, turning himself into a whirlwind of death. But Obi-Wan's perfect defense held. He found his opening and defeated Grievous in single combat on Utapau. But his greatest test came on Mustafar. His former apprentice, now Darth Vader, wielded power that dwarfed most Jedi. The dark side had amplified Anakin's already incredible abilities. By any measure, Vader should have won that duel. Instead, Obi-Wan emerged victorious. He used strategy over strength, patience over passion. He literally took the high ground, both physically and morally. When Anakin made his fatal leap, Obi-Wan struck with precision, severing his former apprentice's limbs and ending the duel. This wasn't just a victory. This was mastery over emotion and technique, combining to defeat raw power. Obi-Wan's Force abilities never seemed flashy, but they ran deep. He could perform mind tricks with ease. He matched Asajj Ventress's telekinesis without breaking a sweat, and his connection to the Force grew so pure that he transcended death itself, becoming one of the first Jedi to maintain consciousness after passing. But Obi-Wan's true power lay in his influence. His training of Luke Skywalker set in motion events that would destroy the Sith and bring balance to the Force. Even from beyond death, he guided Luke, showing that sometimes the greatest teachers continue their lessons long after they're gone. Obi-Wan might have called himself just an old man in his later years, but the record speaks differently. He defeated 3 of the most dangerous warriors in galactic history. Each victory came against opponents with superior raw power. Each time, his technique, patience, and wisdom prevailed. The boy from Stujon, who struggled to find a master, became the Jedi who others aspired to be. The Padawan who watched his master die became the teacher who trained the galaxy's savior. The warrior who perfected defense became the ghost who showed others the path forward. Obi-Wan Kenobi's story teaches us that power takes many forms. Sometimes the strongest warriors are those who know when to strike and when to wait, who understand that defense creates opportunity, who realize that true mastery comes not from overwhelming force, but from perfect control. In the end, Obi-Wan's legacy stretches far beyond his individual victories. He represents the ideal Jedi, calm in crisis, patient in battle, wise in counsel, steadfast in loyalty. His influence shaped the galaxy in ways that pure power never could. That's why Obi-Wan Kenobi earns his place in our top 10. Not because he had the highest midichlorian count or the flashiest abilities, but because he took what he had and made it legendary through discipline, dedication, and an unshakable commitment to the light side of the Force. At number 7, we travel back thousands of years before the Skywalker saga to meet a woman whose power still echoes through Jedi history. Nomi Sunrider never planned to become a Jedi. Fate thrust the role upon her when her husband, a Jedi himself, was killed. Taking up his lightsaber and training, she transformed from a grief-stricken widow into one of the most formidable Force users the galaxy has ever known. What made Nomi truly exceptional was her mastery of battle meditation, a rare Force ability that could turn the tide of entire wars. This powerful technique allowed her to simultaneously strengthen her allies while weakening enemies across an entire battlefield. Through the Force, Nomi could touch the minds of thousands of combatants at once, bolstering friendly troops with courage and confidence while filling enemy forces with doubt and fear. During the Great Sith War, this ability proved decisive. Her battle meditation helped the Republic forces prevail in situations where victory seemed impossible. Military commanders considered her presence more valuable than entire battalions of troops. But battle meditation was just the beginning of Nomi's remarkable talents. She performed what many consider one of the most astonishing feats in Jedi history. When confronted with fallen Jedi Ulic Qel-Droma, a man who had caused tremendous suffering after turning to the dark side, Nomi did something previously thought impossible. In a moment of intense emotion, she severed his connection to the Force completely. This ability, later known as Sever Force, permanently cut Qel-Droma off from the energy field that binds the galaxy together. One moment he was a powerful dark side user, the next he was unable to sense the Force at all. The ability to wall someone off from the Force demonstrated mastery and understanding that few Jedi before or since have achieved. The significance of this power cannot be overstated. The Force flows through all living things. To cut someone off from it requires manipulation of the very fabric of life itself. This wasn't blocking someone temporarily or dampening their abilities. This was fundamentally altering their connection to the universe. Such power places Nomi in a category all her own. Beyond her unique Force abilities, Nomi Sunrider eventually rose to lead the Jedi Order as Grand Master. After the devastation of the Great Sith War, she guided the rebuilding efforts, helping to restore both the physical temples and the spiritual foundations of the Order. Her leadership during this critical period shaped how the Jedi would operate for thousands of years to come. As a warrior, Nomi was no slouch either. Though initially reluctant to wield a lightsaber, she became highly skilled in combat. She faced Sith Lords directly when needed, proving that her abilities extended beyond mental manipulation. Her versatility made her unpredictable and dangerous to her enemies. What truly sets Nomi Sunrider apart was how quickly she developed these abilities. Most Jedi train from childhood, spending decades honing their connection to the Force. Nomi began her training as an adult after the death of her husband. The speed with which she mastered advanced techniques speaks to her natural affinity with the Force. Perhaps most impressively, Nomi achieved all this while raising her daughter, Vima. She balanced her roles as Jedi, leader, and mother, showing that compassion and personal connections could exist alongside great power. This balanced approach to the Force would influence Jedi philosophy for generations. 4,000 years before Luke Skywalker would re-establish the Jedi Order, Nomi Sunrider was already demonstrating what a truly powerful Jedi could accomplish. Her legacy lived on through the ages, with her unique abilities studied by Force users for millennia. Few Jedi before or since have shown such complete mastery over the mental aspects of the Force. That combination of strategic battle meditation, the unprecedented Sever Force ability, and wise leadership during a pivotal era makes Nomi Sunrider worthy of her place among the most powerful Jedi of all time. Number 6 brings us to perhaps the most controversial entry on our list: Anakin Skywalker, the Chosen One himself. You might be wondering why the prophesied savior of the galaxy ranks only 6th. The answer lies in potential versus achievement as a Jedi. Few beings in galactic history possessed greater raw power, but Anakin never fully realized his capabilities before falling to the dark side. Born a slave on Tatooine, Anakin entered the galaxy with the highest midi-chlorian count ever recorded, over 20,000. This was no accident. Many Jedi scholars believe he was literally conceived by the Force itself. His natural abilities manifested early, allowing him to compete in pod racing as a child, a feat considered impossible for humans due to their slower reflexes. By the time of the Clone Wars, Anakin had grown into a force of nature on the battlefield. His piloting skills became legendary, with even his master Obi-Wan acknowledging him as the best star pilot in the galaxy. His dueling abilities developed at an astonishing rate. In combat, Anakin moved with blinding speed and overwhelming power, cutting through battle droids by the dozens as if they were made of paper. His most impressive victory came against Count Dooku, a Sith Lord who had previously defeated both Obi-Wan and Master Yoda. Anakin not only bested Dooku in lightsaber combat, but decisively overwhelmed him. This victory demonstrated just how far his skills had progressed in a relatively short time. The Mortis incident revealed glimpses of his true potential. When confronted with powerful Force beings representing the light and dark sides, Anakin managed to subdue both simultaneously, something no other Jedi could have accomplished. For a brief moment, he fulfilled his role as the Chosen One, bringing balance through sheer power. His telekinetic abilities grew to staggering levels. Anakin could hurl massive objects with precise control, manipulate complex machinery with a gesture, and enhance his physical abilities far beyond normal Jedi limits. His precognitive powers gave him almost supernatural reflexes, allowing him to react to threats before they occurred. Senior members of the Jedi Council, including Master Yoda, recognized that Anakin might one day surpass them all. Had he remained on the light path and continued his development, many believed he would have become the most powerful Jedi in history. But herein lies the tragedy that places Anakin at number 6 rather than higher. Despite all his gifts, Anakin never achieved full mastery as a Jedi. His potential remained largely unrealized. His emotional instability, attachment issues, and eventually his fear of loss created vulnerabilities that limited his growth. This became painfully evident in his final duel as a Jedi against Obi-Wan on Mustafar. Despite wielding superior raw power, Anakin lost the battle. His overconfidence and emotional turmoil prevented him from using his abilities effectively. Obi-Wan defeated him not by matching his strength, but by exploiting these fundamental weaknesses. As Jedi historians, we must evaluate Anakin based on what he actually accomplished during his time in the light, not what he might have become. His fall to darkness cut short what could have been the most remarkable Jedi career ever known. The power he later wielded as Darth Vader belongs to a different list entirely. What keeps Anakin Skywalker at number 6 is the undeniable impact he had during his brief time as a Jedi Knight. Few could match his battlefield prowess, his dueling skill, or his raw connection to the Force. He changed the course of the Clone Wars numerous times through sheer ability. The shadows of what might have been still loom large over Jedi history. Anakin Skywalker stands as a testament to the fact that power alone does not make a great Jedi. Without wisdom, patience, and emotional balance, even the most gifted Force user will fall short of their potential. The Chosen One may have been the strongest vessel for the Force ever created, but his journey reminds us that true Jedi mastery requires more than just extraordinary abilities. And now we enter the top 5 most powerful Jedi of all time. At number 5, we find a figure whose story reads like legend. Revan stands as perhaps the most complex and versatile Force user in galactic history. His journey from Jedi prodigy to Sith conqueror and back again showcases a power and understanding of the Force that few could comprehend. The Mandalorian Wars first revealed Revan's extraordinary abilities. When the Republic faced defeat against Mandalorian forces, Revan stepped forward against the Jedi Council's wishes. He formed the Jedi Crusaders, rallying other Jedi to his cause through sheer charisma and conviction. His tactical brilliance turned the tide of a losing war. The final confrontation proved just how formidable he was. Revan personally challenged and defeated Mandalore the Ultimate in single combat. This wasn't just any victory. This was ending a war by defeating one of the galaxy's most feared warriors. The battle at Malachor 5 saw Revan triumph completely, cementing his status as a Republic hero. But power can be a dangerous thing. Exposure to ancient Sith influence and eventually the Sith Emperor Vitiate pulled Revan toward darkness. Even this fall showcased his incredible abilities. Revan built an entire Sith empire in astonishingly short time. He located and mastered the Starforge, an ancient superweapon that few could even comprehend. let alone control. When his memory was wiped by the Jedi and he was given a new identity, Revan's innate power manifested again. He retrained himself, regaining tremendous Force abilities in record time. The culmination came when he confronted and defeated his former apprentice, Darth Malak, dismantling the very Sith Empire he had created. As a duelist, Revan had few equals. He mastered multiple lightsaber forms, from the dual-wielding Jarkai to the powerful D-Gem So. This versatility made him nearly unbeatable in combat. He could adapt his style on the fly, surprising opponents who thought they had him figured out. His Force abilities were equally comprehensive. Revan commanded an almost unheard-of range of powers. He could unleash devastating Sith lightning, then seamlessly switch to healing abilities. His telekinetic prowess allowed him to hurl objects with precision and force. He could cloud minds with powerful illusions one moment and read thoughts the next. Perhaps most impressive was his mastery of battle meditation, the same rare ability that placed Nomi Sunrider on our list. Revan could use this power to coordinate entire armies, bolstering their morale while sapping enemy resolve. This strategic application of the Force helped explain how he won seemingly impossible military victories. His mental fortitude may be his most outstanding feature. When captured by Emperor Vitiate, Revan resisted telepathic domination for years. Consider this feat. Vitiate was perhaps the most powerful Sith mind in history, capable of dominating thousands simultaneously. Yet Revan held out, preserving his sense of self through sheer willpower. In fact, during their mental battle, Revan nearly overpowered the Emperor before outside interference disrupted their connection. Even centuries after his physical death, Revan's spirit remained a force in galactic affairs, split between light and dark, yet still immensely powerful. Many scholars describe Revan as the heart of the Force in his era because he truly understood and embodied both light and dark aspects. He carried knowledge from both traditions, giving him perspective and abilities unavailable to those who studied only one path. Revan altered galactic history not once, but twice. First as the savior who defeated the Mandalorians, then as the conqueror who nearly brought the Republic to its knees. Few individuals have ever wielded enough power to reshape civilization on that scale. That's the legacy that earns Revan the 5th spot on our list. A peerless warrior, unmatched strategist, master of countless Force techniques, and someone who understood the Force in its totality rather than just one aspect. Jedi and Sith alike study his methods even thousands of years later, recognizing in Revan something truly unique in Force user history. At number 4 on our list stands Mace Windu, a Jedi Master whose combat prowess approached the realm of legend. During the final days of the Republic, Windu served as second only to Yoda on the Jedi Council, bringing an intensity to the role that perfectly matched his fighting style. Many Jedi historians consider him potentially equal to Yoda in direct combat, a claim few others could make. What truly separated Mace from his peers was his creation of Varpad, a variant of Form 7 lightsaber combat. Varpad represented something completely new in Jedi history. The technique allowed Windu to channel both his own inner darkness and that of his opponent, creating a feedback loop of aggression that pushed him beyond normal Jedi limitations. Mastering Varpad required extraordinary mental discipline. Most Jedi who attempted to learn it fell to the dark side, unable to control the dangerous emotions the form unleashed. Mace walked this razor edge perfectly, harnessing dark side energy without being consumed by it. The form became so synonymous with him that many considered Mace its only true master. Complementing his lightsaber skills, Mace possessed the rare ability to see shatter points through the Force. This gave him insight into the critical weaknesses or pressure points in any situation, person, or object. Where others saw an impenetrable defense, Mace could identify the exact spot where pressure would cause everything to break apart. These abilities culminated in what may be the most impressive feat by any Jedi during the Clone Wars era. When Chancellor Palpatine revealed himself as Darth Sidious, Mace led a team of Jedi Masters to arrest him. The encounter quickly turned deadly. Sidious slaughtered 3 Jedi Masters in seconds, demonstrating why he had remained hidden for so long. Yet Mace Windu pressed forward alone, engaging the Dark Lord in single combat. Drawing on Vapad to channel Sidious' own dark energy against him, Mace accomplished something remarkable. He defeated Darth Sidious in lightsaber combat, disarming the Sith Lord and holding him at blade point. Though historians debate whether Sidious allowed himself to be defeated as part of a larger plan, official Jedi records credit Mace with a legitimate victory. Consider the magnitude of this achievement. Darth Sidious had orchestrated the near destruction of the entire Jedi Order. He had manipulated the galaxy into war and hidden in plain sight for decades. Yet Mace Windu, through skill and determination, had him at his mercy. Only Anakin Skywalker's intervention prevented Mace from ending the Sith threat then and there. Beyond his legendary duel with Sidious, Mace demonstrated his power on numerous occasions. During the Battle of Dantooine, he single-handedly destroyed an entire droid army, crushing their metal bodies with overwhelming force power. On Geonosis, he dispatched the feared bounty hunter Jango Fett with a single stroke of his purple blade. Though primarily known for his combat abilities, Mace commanded impressive force powers as well. His telekinetic abilities could shatter Durasteel. His prophetic visions helped guide Jedi strategy. His presence in the Force was so commanding that even hardened criminals would think twice before crossing him. The Jedi Order recognized Mace's exceptional abilities by naming him their champion. When the situation called for martial strength rather than negotiation, Mace would be sent. His reputation alone often resolved conflicts, as few wanted to test themselves against the Master of Vapad. Mace Windu embodied a specific kind of Jedi power. He stood as a living weapon of the light, channeling aggressive energy that bordered on darkness while maintaining rigid control through discipline and commitment to the Order. His perfect balance of intensity and restraint made him nearly unbeatable in direct confrontation. Had Anakin not betrayed him during that fateful confrontation with Sidious, the history of the galaxy might have unfolded very differently. Mace came within moments of ending the Sith threat forever, a testament to his extraordinary power and skill. His rank at number 4 on our list honors a Jedi who pushed the boundaries of what was possible in combat while remaining firmly committed to the light. At number 3, we find a Jedi who would top many lists of the most powerful Force users in history. Grand Master Yoda, the diminutive green sage whose 900 years of wisdom and power shaped the Jedi Order as we know it. His placement at number 3 speaks volumes about the two beings who surpass him. Yoda represents the pinnacle of what conventional Jedi training can achieve. By the Clone Wars, he had been training Jedi Knights for 8 centuries. His connection to the Force grew so profound that Jedi records described him as stronger than most in his attunement to the living Force. By 400 BBY, historians already ranked him alongside legendary figures like Nomi Sunrider, centuries before his greatest achievements. His combat abilities defy imagination. Despite his small size and apparent frailty, Yoda mastered every form of lightsaber combat. When he drew his green blade, witnesses described a whirlwind of energy, his body moving faster than the eye could track. Age did nothing to diminish these skills. Consider his duel with Count Dooku, a renowned Makashi master. When Dooku unleashed Force lightning, Yoda simply caught it in his bare hands, absorbing and dissipating the dark energy with apparent ease. The display left even Dooku visibly shaken as he faced power far beyond his own. More impressive still was his confrontation with Darth Sidious. In the Senate chambers, Yoda matched the Sith Master blow for blow. He caught and redirected Sith lightning, hurled massive Senate pods with precise telekinetic control, and engaged in lightsaber combat so fast that normal beings could barely follow the movements. That Yoda could equal the most powerful Sith in history demonstrates his extraordinary command of the Force. Beyond combat, Yoda possessed abilities that showcased his deep connection to the living Force. His telekinetic powers became legendary. On Dagobah, he lifted an X-Wing fighter from the swamp depths, demonstrating that physical size meant nothing compared to Force mastery. His ability to see potential futures guided Jedi strategy for centuries, even as he cautioned about the ever-shifting nature of fate. Perhaps his most remarkable skill was his Force sensitivity to other beings. During the tragic Order 66, Yoda felt the death of each Jedi across the galaxy, a connection so profound that it physically staggered him. His empathic abilities extended to communication with animals and intuitive understanding of complex situations that baffled others. The final and perhaps most significant testament to Yoda's power came after physical death. Working with the spirit of Qui-Gon Jinn, Yoda discovered the path to Force immortality. This achievement allowed him to transcend physical form, continuing to guide future generations as a Force spirit. His essence and teachings lived on to help Luke Skywalker and eventually Rey restore balance to the Force. Yoda's journey to such extraordinary power came through patience and dedication. He embodied the Jedi ideal of continuous learning. Even after 900 years, he remained humble enough to acknowledge there was always more to understand about the Force. His willingness to grow allowed him to overcome the dogmatic views that sometimes limited the Jedi Order. His philosophical contributions matched his Force prowess. Yoda's teachings emphasized mindfulness, peace, and understanding over aggression. He recognized that true strength came from harmony with the Force rather than domination of it. These lessons form the cornerstone of Jedi philosophy for generations. In sheer breadth of knowledge, depth of wisdom, and raw Force ability, Grand Master Yoda stands among the greatest Force users who ever lived. His placement at number 3 honors a being who devoted nearly a millennium to understanding and serving the light side of the Force. The fact that 2 others surpass even Yoda on our list speaks to their truly extraordinary nature. For most beings in galactic history, surpassing Master Yoda would seem impossible. Yet as we approach the pinnacle of our countdown, we find those rare individuals whose power exceeded even the ancient Grand Master himself. At number 2, we find a name that may surprise casual fans, but makes perfect sense to those who truly understand Jedi history. Master Thrawn outranks legends like Mace Windu, Revan, and even Grand Master Yoda on our list. His placement above such iconic figures speaks to his extraordinary connection to the Force, one that transcended conventional understanding of Jedi power. Thrawn lived thousands of years before the Skywalker era, during the tumultuous period of the Great Sith War. A member of the reptilian wall species, his massive form and beast-like appearance hid a mind of incredible wisdom and spiritual depth. Where other powerful Jedi demonstrated their abilities through lightsaber combat or telekinetic feats, Thrawn specialized in the most fundamental aspects of Force connection. What elevated Thrawn above nearly all other Jedi was his unprecedented mastery of light side purification. The primitive world of Umbria had been corrupted by dark side energy, becoming a nexus of Sith power. Rather than abandoning this world, Thrawn chose exile there, undertaking perhaps the most challenging Force work ever attempted by a single Jedi. Through sustained meditation and light-side communion, Thrawn contained the entire planetary darkness, binding it beneath Lake Nath. The scale of this achievement cannot be overstated. Most Jedi struggle to cleanse darkness from a single person or small location. Thrawn purified an entire world, transforming Umbria from a dark side focal point into a beacon of light. Even Yoda, with all his power, only managed a similar feat on Dagobah at a much smaller scale. The spiritual strength required for such a task reveals why Thrawn ranks so highly. Maintaining this purification for years required constant vigilance and immovable will. His light side presence became so powerful that dark side entities would flee rather than confront him directly. When lesser Sith encountered his Force aura, many would reconsider their path, feeling the unwavering strength of his connection to the light. Thrawn rejected the political power that came with Jedi status. He could have led the Order, but instead chose a path of service and sacrifice. From his humble dwelling on Umbria, he taught students who would shape galactic history, including Nomi Sunrider. His approach emphasized foundational strength over flashy techniques, teaching students to weather darkness rather than simply fight it. His healing abilities reached levels few Jedi have matched. Thrawn could mend physical wounds that would be fatal to others, but more impressively, he could heal spiritual damage. Fallen Jedi who seemed lost to darkness found redemption through his guidance. His telepathic projection allowed him to maintain contact with students across vast distances, guiding them through challenges even when physically separated. Perhaps most remarkable was Thrawn's ability to sense spiritual fractures in others, a talent that would later be echoed in Mace Windu's Shatterpoint ability. He could identify the exact point where a person might break or be redeemed, then apply precise Force pressure to guide them toward healing. During one of the most fragile periods in Jedi history, Thrawn served as an anchor point for the entire Order. When darkness threatened to overwhelm the galaxy, his unwavering presence provided stability. He became the foundation upon which the Jedi could rebuild after devastating conflicts with the Sith. The reason Thrawn outranks more famous names comes down to the fundamental nature of Jedi power. While warriors like Mace Windu and strategists like Revan shaped history through action, Thorn altered the very fabric of the Force itself. His planetary purification required deeper understanding and connection than even the most impressive combat feats. The ancient Jedi taught that true power comes not from dominating the Force, but from perfect harmony with it. By this measure, very few ever reached Thorn's level of attunement. His place at number 2 on our list honors a being who embodied the purest ideals of what a Jedi could become when fully aligned with the light side of the Force. And finally, we reach number 1 on our list of the most powerful Jedi of all time. Luke Skywalker stands at the summit, a being whose journey from farm boy to galactic legend represents the greatest growth in Force mastery ever recorded. The son of Anakin Skywalker inherited his father's unlimited potential. But unlike Anakin, Luke fully actualized that potential, becoming a truly unmatched Force user. His story began humbly on Tatooine, making his rise all the more remarkable. With minimal formal training, Luke managed to redeem his father and help defeat the Empire, feats that would have been impressive enough to earn him a place in Jedi history. But that was merely the prologue to his true power. In the years after Return of the Jedi, Luke became a student of the Force unlike any before him. He hunted down ancient Jedi knowledge from across the galaxy, studying holocrons, texts and teachings from countless traditions. Where other Jedi followed established paths, Luke absorbed them all, synthesizing a deeper understanding of the Force than perhaps any being before him. By a few decades after the fall of the Empire, Luke had mastered every known lightsaber form, becoming a duelist without peer. During the Dark Empire crisis, he defeated a clone of Sidious in single combat, a feat that put him in a category all his own. His command of Force techniques reached mythical proportions. Luke developed abilities some considered lost to time. He could perform battle meditation across vast distances, melding minds with fellow Jedi to coordinate their actions. He mastered Force healing at levels unseen for generations. His Force illusions and projections operated on scales that boggled the mind, capable of fooling entire armies. Luke's telekinetic might surpassed even Yoda. He could collapse massive structures with precise control or hold gigantic objects motionless. During the Yuuzhan Vong conflict, he briefly managed to manipulate a miniature black hole created by Vong Biotech, a display of power so immense that it defies comprehension. Among his rarest abilities was fold space, essentially Force teleportation, demonstrated during the Fate of the Jedi series. Luke also mastered the exceedingly rare ability to sever others from the Force, a technique we saw earlier with Nomi Sunrider, bringing his mastery full circle through Jedi history. His greatest battles reveal a warrior beyond conventional limitations. During the Yuuzhan Vong War, Luke defeated Supreme Overlord Shimura in single combat. He faced multiple Slayer warriors, beings specifically engineered to kill Jedi, and dispatched them with ease. Like his nephew Jason, Luke achieved moments of oneness with the Force, becoming a pure instrument of light, as when he destroyed an avatar of the eldritch horror Abeloth. Perhaps most telling was his confrontation with Darth Quidus, formerly Jacen Solo. Witnesses described Luke moving so quickly that he appeared as merely an after-image, his lightsaber creating an unbroken field of energy rather than a discernible blade. Even other Jedi Masters watched in awe as Luke demonstrated power they could barely comprehend. By the end of the Legends timeline, Luke Skywalker had become the living embodiment of the light side. He balanced unprecedented might with compassion and wisdom. He rebuilt the Jedi Order, training new generations and establishing a legacy that would endure for centuries. He fulfilled Yoda's dying wish to pass on what he had learned, ensuring the light would never die. From defeating galaxy-threatening entities to redeeming fallen Jedi, from mastering long-forgotten techniques to creating new applications of the Force, Luke Skywalker stands unmatched. His placement at number 1 recognizes not just raw power, but the complete fulfillment of potential that his father never achieved. In every measure of Jedi greatness, Luke Skywalker sets the standard. His journey from Moisture Farm to the pinnacle of Force mastery represents the ultimate example of what a Jedi can become when fully aligned with the light. That is why Luke Skywalker earns his place as the most powerful Jedi in Star Wars history.